Hello and welcome to this very exciting tutorial brought to you by Hezaco Digital World. My name is Hezekiah and today I will show you or teach you how to design and print on a printable DVD disc or CD using Corel Draw 11 and a popular printer called Canon Pixma IP7240. If you have a laptop or a desktop with Corel Graphics Suite 11 installed on it, then we are good to go. So when you launch your Corel 11 Graphics Suite, this is how the interface will look like. And when designing, one thing we must make sure or we must consider is the measurement and our workspace. But before we go on, I would like to tell you something. You see, when you look at this footage, you will see that a CD plate has a diameter of 12 centimeters. That is from here to here. And the middle hole is 1.5 cm. If you have a ruler, you can measure and you will see that what I am saying is true. Alright, secondly, this is the footage of our mouse since you cannot see my fingers. Now looking at this mouse, when I click here, I mean left click. When I use the other finger is right click. For the sake of learning, that is why I'm saying this. And on our mouse, we have the wheel. The wheel helps us to push or bring the object we are designing closer or backward. For instance, if I click on this rectangular tool icon and draw this shape, if I select this color, now as I rotate the wheel, it moves forward and backward. Okay, and on this tutorial, if I click, when you see a red ring that appears as this, it means I have clicked or left click. But when I click right click, you will see a warp, just as you can see now. Alright, so with this we can proceed. Normally you have the right to design whatever you want to design, either portrait or landscape. By default, it's normally portrait. But when you click this icon here, it will now turn the page to landscape. Okay, now when we come here to our drawing unit, we will see that it is on inch. We will click and now come down to centimeter. As our CD diameter is 12 centimeter, so you can choose millimeter, but that will be 120 mm. But for now, we are going to use centimeter for the sake of this tutorial. Now, the next thing we must do is to change our value. When we check here, we will see later that is our paper size. And when you click the drop down, you will see different sizes, including envelope and other sizes of paper. One thing I love Corel Draw is the freedom to have a custom size. Now later is 27.94 centimeter width and 21.59 height. Now we will now highlight this and say 12 centimeter. Alright, we have to be very careful because you see this shape you see is no more 12 centimeter, it's more than that. So we can highlight all and say 12 centimeter. Then we will press the tab key on our keyboard to come down to the lower bar. When I press the tab key, then I will now type 12. So once my numbers are correct, I will just click anywhere here, and now it will now be a perfect square, meaning from here to here is 12 centimeter, and from here to here is 12 centimeter. Now we will now draw our perfect cycle, and to do that we will come here to our ellipse tool, and the shortcut for that is F7. When I click, you will notice a small cross and a little ellipse underneath. When I click and drag my mouse, I will see ellipse, but it's not a perfect cycle. So when I release my mouse, the shape will remain as you can see on the screen. So what I will do now is to come over here and highlight this value, and I will now type 12. Once again, I will go on my tab key on the keyboard, as I will show you again. Alright, then I will now type 12. Then I will now come to my pick tool here up and click. Now our shape now turns to a perfect cycle. But one thing we must consider is whenever we are designing anything, we must make sure that our object shapes are within our page. As we can see here, the cycle is outside the page. Now to bring it to the middle, what we will do is to press letter P on our keyboard, as you can see on the footage. So when we do so, if I press now, it will come to the middle of the page. Now we have rulers as well, here and here. If I click and drag, then press letter P, it comes straight to the middle. And when I click and drag from the top and press P, now we see that the cycle is now, the rulers is now forming like a target, where here is the center of what we are drawing. So without much waste of time, we will now import the picture that we want to design. Now this red is showing that this very line is selected, and when I click this guideline, it will now show red. Now I will delete both, then come to File, Import. Then I will now locate where the picture is, as this dialog box appears. Now I will click down, come to my libraries, then picture, because that is where I saved the picture, and you can import from any other location of your system. Alright, this young man is the artist that I want to design his CD plate. Now when you click import, you will see this shape. When you click and drag, you will notice that there's a red dotted line rectangle. Now it's now showing you that once you release your mouse, this is how the image will remain. Now if I release my mouse, this is how I will see the picture. Now I will not just drop the picture here. To look more professional, I will have to place this picture inside our shape, and to do that I will come up to Effect, come down to Power Clip, and when your cursor lands on Power Clip, it will bring another dialog box where you will see Place Inside Container. When I click, then this fat arrow will appear. This fat arrow will appear asking me where do I want to place the picture. Now when I come outside here and click, it will say you did not click an object. Do you wish to try again? I will now say yes. But since this is the ellipse tool that we draw, into a perfect cycle, when I click, the picture will automatically jump from outside to the shape. Now, I would like to adjust the picture because I don't want the position where it is right now. So what I will do is I will right click, then go on to edit content. If I want to extract the content, I will now click this. But since I want to edit, I will click on this. Then it will now open up the picture inside the perfect cycle that we just drew. Now I'll click on it, then resize it, then keep it to the position that I want. I can equally drag here. Alright, once I'm happy with the position of the picture, I can right click and say finish editing this level. Or I can come down here where it says finish editing symbol. They are all the same. So when I click, you see that everything is now within the cycle. Now I have the right to choose the color that I want. If I click on the cycle, then say orange, you will see orange here. If I say gray color, it will remain as it is. But if I want the gray color to come to the center of this cycle, then I will have to cut out the picture of my artist. But that will be possible when you go in depth to our further tutorials. But for now, I can just right click, then edit content. Then I will now draw. I'll come and click here, our rectangle tool, then draw a shape to the middle. Then I will now click on my gray color. Because I don't want this black outline, I will now remove it by coming here. It might look small, but to let you know that there is an outline here, I will come here to the outline width and click. Then if I click 4, you will know that it is visible. But since I don't want any, I will say none. I can equally come here and right click, then it will go off. Now that I'm happy with what I'm seeing, I will now click on finish editing symbol, and that's all. Mind you, we still have an outline on our cycle. I can equally remove the outline by clicking on the shape, our perfect cycle, then come here and say right click. Alright, what next is to type in the information that I want to use in designing this CD plate. Now for me to know where there will be opaque on our CD, because I said the inner cycle on every CD is 1.5 centimeter. So what I will do is I will click on my ellipse tool, then drag. Then I will now come here to our measuring object size and say 1.5. Click on tab and say 1.5. Then I will now click on pick tool. Then it will now come up the exact way we design it. So on my keyboard, I will press letter P to bring it to the center of the page. Then I can now select white color so that I will know that even when it is printed, this place will be cut off. Then to make my design looks better, I will also remove the outline by coming here to the outline width and say none. Alright, then I will now start writing by coming here to our text tool, and the shortcut is F8. Now you will see a cross with an alphabet A underneath. If I click, then my cursor will now start to blink. Now the name of this artist is called Iman P. Then I can now increase the size, come to the font list and change to whatever font that I want. But for the sake of learning, I will just leave it at this font that I select. Then likewise, I have the right to change the color of my text. I can select the ash color here because I don't want it to be too visible. Alright, then I can also type in the name of the album. But if I use here as ash, the gray color, what I can do is I can select the text tool, I can highlight Iman, then select white. Then I can come over here and highlight just the P and select the gray color. Now we have something beautiful here and it's readable. So the next thing is to type the album title, that is my own. So if I want everything to be on capital letter, I will have to type cap locks on my keyboard, as you can see on the screen. Then I'll say my own. Click my pick tool, increase the size, then position it here. It's just a simple design. Alright, I can equally change the color that I want, but I will leave it at white. Then I can use whatever I want to make my design more beautiful. So I can just come here, import, then come to my PNG file, that's portable network graphics pictures. Then I can insert any. If I select this one, by double clicking it will bring it to the page, and I'll now extend it this way. Now if I want it here, I will just come up to effect, power clip, place inside container, then click. Now it's now at the center. Then I can now reposition it to where I want it to be by right clicking, edit content, then bring this vector design to somewhere here. When I'm done, I will now say finish editing symbol. Don't worry, if you are not watching this tutorial on YouTube but on Dix, I will place few of the vectors so that you can try yourself. Now I can equally import another vector PNG that's showing CD. Alright, this will let every viewer or anybody that sees this design to know that it's an audio CD. Alright, so when I'm happy with this design, all I will do is to click on File and then export my design. Now this dialog box will come because the system will be asking you, where do you want to save this design? Now I will come here to my picture, which is okay by me, but you can save yours elsewhere within the system or using a removable flash drive, memory card, or a hard disk, and you can even save it on a CD, which we will do it very soon. Now I will come to file name and I will say Iman CD print. So once I'm happy, then I will now say export. But make sure the type of my design will remain JPEG, bitmaps. Then I will now click export. Now another dialog box will appear here. Just click on maintain original size and say OK. Another dialog box will appear and I will still say OK without touching anything. Alright, I will come to start, come to picture, and my design appears. If I double click to preview, this is what we will see. And with this, we are good to go. Now, looking at my computer, I have a CD. If I don't have a printer, I will have to save it on the CD, burn it, then take it to where they print CDs, and I will say this is my design. So by doing so, I've saved money for design. All I have to do is to pay for the printing. Now, I will show you exactly how to do it using Nero Express. Start. I will now launch my Nero Express. Now it will take a few seconds and it will appear as you can see on the screen. So what I have in my computer is a DVD, not a CD. A CD can contain more than 50 to 80 designs of JPEG. But since what I have right now is a DVD, now I will click on data DVD. Now this is what will appear. The dialog box will come here. I have already saved a picture before, but I can equally add. The reason why it's possible is because I converted my CD to be a multi-session CD, and I'll show you how to do that. So I will say add. Then this dialog box will come asking me where to add the file that I want to burn. Now I've saved my design on pictures. So when I scroll down, I will see Iman CD print. I will select, then I will say add. Then I will close, then I will see Iman CD print. Then I will click next. But before you click next, I will advise you to click on this little arrow here so that you can see other options. Now when you come on next, you will see the writing speed. It is now showing 16 times, that is 22,000 kilobytes per second. But when you click the drop down, you will see different writing speed. I always recommend 8 times, because if you write on a high speed and the computer you give where they do the printing, if it is not the one that reads on high speed, then it may not see the CD. It will say no CD inserted. It will waste your time. You will have to come back, burn, and go back again. So I advise writing on a lower speed. 8 is recommended. So I will now say allow files to be added later, that is multi-session CD. So when I click burn, it will continue. Alright, before it burns, let's get to this music. Okay, burn process completed successfully at 8 times, that's 11,000 kilobytes per second. I will now click OK. Now that I'm happy, I will now say next, then close. So when I check my CD, I will right click and say open. Then I will see 2 designs. I have this one earlier. So to see my design very well, I will come here and click large icon or extra large icon. This was my first design, and this one is the one we just designed. Alright, if I want to have my CD printed using the popular Canon Pixma IP7240, I will go ahead and do that. And for me to achieve that, once you have your printer installed to your system, you will have my image garden icon on your system. Now, if I come here, I will launch the printer, and this is what will appear on my screen. That's the dialog box for the printer will look exactly as you can see. Now, but before we do that, we must make sure that our image or design is in a folder. So we'll come back to Start, Picture, then this is our design. We'll create a new folder, and to create a new folder, we will right click, then come to New, then follow the arrow upward here and click Folder. Then you are now free to create a new folder. Then I will say CD print 2. Then I will press Enter. Now, since I'm done, now that I'm done, I will now close this dialog box. So the printer would like to know where exactly my picture is. Then I'll click on Libraries, then I'll click on Picture, then I will see CD print 2. Once I click, then we forgot something. We just created the folder, but the picture is not inside. That is why we see there are no items that can be displayed here. So we will now go back to Picture. This is our design. We will right click, Cut, come to our folder, right click, and we say Paste. Then we can now close the dialog box. So if I click on this folder, then come back to this folder, we have the design in the folder. We can now see the design visible in CD print 2. Then I will make sure I select the image because right now it's not selected. If I click on the image, you will see a white outline. But if I click outside, the outline is no more there, meaning none is selected. So if I click again, I will also see the information of my design here. Then I'll click New Art. If I click New Art, this very arrow, it will come with options: photo layout, collage, and rest. But what I want to do right now is to print on a CD. So I will click on Disk Level. Now we will see this design, but we can select any because we can change them later. If I click on Standard, then say OK, this is what will appear. It will process, then I can see this style, but our design is placed on one side. Don't worry, just come here to Layout, then scroll down, then select this design. If you say OK, then it will now pop up with the full design. But one thing we will notice is we can see enter text here, enter text, and another one here. So we will now select this one and click or type full stop. Because it's black and it's on the ash side of the design, I will now click here to select color and I say gray. If I say OK, then it will no more be visible. Then I'll click on the second one and type full stop. Then I will change the color to gray so that it will not be seen on the design. Then lastly, the last one here, then I will now type full stop. Likewise, gray color. OK. So now it's not visible. So with this, I can proceed to print. If I click on print, it will show me this dialog box, and it will ask me if I want more than one CD, where I can come to this sign of plus and add the numbers that I want. But for now, I want just one CD. Alright, once I click on print, it will send signal to the printer that a message is coming. So right now I will click on print. So what you are seeing right now is the printer, and it's now processing. Then it will start blinking and start preparing, getting ready for printing. So but before it gets ready, I will have to prepare my CD on the CD holder, as you can see here. Then I will pick my disc, place it at the middle of the disc holder. Then I will now see the command on the screen. It's saying open the cover inside the CD, then press the resume button. So what I will do is I will open it, as you can see here, then insert my CD. Then I must make sure that the arrow here and the one on the printer are very much aligned. So when I'm done, I will now come here and press this resume button, as we can see on the screen. Once I press, then I will now send the CD in and it will start printing. So before it finishes, let's enjoy this music. Alright, this is what we've just designed, and this is what we can see live and direct. So you can print your CD right here in your room if you have the Pixma IP7240, as you can see right here. So now that you've known how to design, if you have interest in starting a small business, you can equally have one. As of time of this very tutorial, the printer is just 30,000 Naira. Finally, now that you have learned how to design and print on a printable DVD disc using Corel Draw 11 and Canon Pixma 72IP40, why not go ahead and do a lot more? We have a lot of package. I would like to invite you to Hezaco Graphics School. If you have interest and passion for graphics design, then that is the best place for you, because we will bring out the designer in you. We also have our DVD containing lots of lessons that you can learn at home in Hausa, Pidgin English, and English which will come out soon. For more information, you can contact us on this number on the screen. This very tutorial you are watching is free of charge. Before then, I want to say thank you on behalf of Hezaco Digital World. We are saying thank you for giving us the opportunity to have this lesson with you. See you and thank you.